and a very warm welcome to Meghan and Harry News YouTube channel. I'm Alex and I hope you're feeling on top of the world today. So, today we have news on the interview that Meghan gave, and of course there is more smear campaign nonsense from the media. But first, let's start with the positive. Meghan marked Father's Day yesterday by talking about her new book, The Bench and Harry as a Father. The Duchess of Sussex joined NPR Weekend Edition on Sunday to talk about The Bench, a book that was inspired by a poem she wrote for Harry from 2019. During the interview, Meghan shared that the poem was only part of how she celebrated the special occasion. That year she also got him a bench. As most of us do, you go, "What am I going to get them as a gift?" Meghan said during the interview, which was recorded shortly before she welcomed daughter Lilibet Diana, whose name pays tribute to Queen Elizabeth and Princess Diana on June the 4th. Meghan continues in the interview. She says, "And I thought I just wanted something sentimental and a place for him to have as a bit of a home base with our son," she added. On the back of the bench is a plaque on which Meghan's poem appears. "This is your bench," the poem reads, "where life will begin for you and our son, our baby, our kin." Meghan went on to describe the bench as a love story. "I often find, and especially in this past year, I think so many of us realised how much happens in the quiet," she said. "It was definitely moments like that, watching them from out of the window and watching my husband just, rock him to sleep or carry him. Those lived experiences from my observation are the things that I infused in this poem. It's really just about growing with someone and having this deep connection and this trust, so that be it good times or bad, you know that you had this person," she added, going on to note that it was also important to her to make sure the book was as inclusive as possible. "Growing up, I remember so much how it felt to not see yourself represented," she said, "and any child or any family hopefully can open this book and see themselves in it, whether that means glasses or freckled or a different body shape or a different ethnicity or religion." Later in the interview, she added, "I really hope that people can see this as a love story that transcends the story of my family." Meghan has explained that the book was inspired by a poem she wrote to Harry after the birth of their son. Past Wednesday, in response to the news, The Bench had reached the #1 slot on the New York Times bestseller list. She shared a new post on her and Prince Harry's Archewell Foundation website, noting that the story began as a love letter to my husband and son, and I'm encouraged to see that its universal themes of love, representation and inclusivity are resonating with communities everywhere, she said. "In many ways, pursuing a more compassionate and equitable world begins with these core values," she added. Now, in other news, we see this rancid news story in new.com, Australia, an Australian platform, and the most negative press always seems to come from countries attached to the UK, like Australia, through the Commonwealth and, for example, New Zealand. Here is the title: "Bombshell New Report Claims Palace Insiders Viewed Meghan as an Unhinged Sociopath and Certainly Not a Victim of Bullying." A bombshell new report alleges Meghan humiliated her staff, who thought the former actress was a narcissist and sociopath. Now, this is a classic, tried and tested way of discrediting someone, by labeling them as crazy or unhinged, and then giving it a technical name, such as sociopath or narcissist. History is littered with people whom the state has tried to undermine by accusing them of having a condition when it's not true, and this I consider to be outrageous. It's not the first time narcissist has been thrown around, and it's disgraceful a narcissistic personality can be diagnosed, and Meghan has not been diagnosed with anything of the sort. And considering all of this mudslinging, as some have said, is very possibly originating from the firm itself. Well, if you want to see what narcissistic is, which is a self-inflated sense of worth, you only need to look at the royal family, and the ones that wear crowns on their heads and medals that they have been awarded to their family members for doing nothing. That is narcissism. It reads here: yesterday, the Times published an explosive new report making a series of allegations about Meghan the Duchess of Sussex, including that Kensington Palace staff thought she was a complete narcissist and sociopath, basically unhinged, that she had humiliated and shouted at staff, that Prince William had been horrified when he was told about Meghan's alleged behaviour, and that he wanted the Duchess removed from the two couples' shared household, and that William wished to be separated from Meghan on a day-to-day basis. Think it's been a tumultuous, rocky few months in the royal world? These incendiary claims have just ratcheted things up devastatingly. These new allegations came via veteran British biographer Robert Lacey, who also just happens to be the historical consultant for the Crown. Robert Lacey has written many biographies of royal family members and is firmly entrenched behind the royal family members. It continues. Last year, he published a book about the fallout between Prince William and Harry called Battle of Brothers, and now a new issue of the title is set to be released that includes these and other claims. It's all fabrication based on anonymous sources in order to push this narcissistic sociopath agenda, which is completely baseless, and well, I would sue them myself. A narcissist is technically an illness. According to the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, narcissistic personality disorder, or NPD, is one of several personality disorders and is defined as a mental illness that is associated with a pervasive pattern of grandiosity, need for admiration, and lack of empathy. So, here we have a book with anonymous sources inferring that Meghan has a mental illness. It's straight up character assassination, and she should get her lawyers onto them. Thank you for listening, and let me know what you think in the comments. I will see you in the next video.